Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Hey everybody, how is everybody doing? I wanted to come on a little bit. I want to come on real quick. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Coming in and jumping in. We shared Monday motivation on Life Coaching with Karen on YouTube, as well as Wisdom. So we were on YouTube and the Wisdom app on yesterday. So go back and check out the Monday motivation word from Monday if you did not get to check it out, and if you definitely need some motivation and need to listen to it, please feel free to go back. Thank you to all the replay viewers that will come in and watch the replay. Hashtag replay and comment. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel or Instagram or LinkedIn, Facebook, of course, Wisdom, the Wisdom app. I am Life Coaching with Karen on all platforms. So go ahead and subscribe, follow if you have not. We do Monday motivation. I do Tuesday tips sometimes. We do Wellness Wednesday, Thursday therapy conversations sometimes, and we also go live on the podcast on Thursdays, on every other Thursday. Sometimes it is not every Thursday, sometimes it's every other Thursday, but Thursday be looking out because we're in season 3 and you may have not heard any episodes in season 1, 2, or 3. Or if you have not listened to all of them, you want to go back and check out the podcast. We are now We Dream Fearless um, podcast. We're in season 3, and so I did talk about how in different seasons we know that seasons change, and we know that seasons are different, and so the podcast is an extension of my coaching brand, WCD Coaching Incorporated. And of course, we started out in our first season as the WC to Life podcast, to Stay True podcast, and now we were trying out Fearless Daughters Dream, which is my apparel brand. But um, last week, I was just meditating, and I was like, "What is?" Because we're coming up on 3 years on May the 19th, which is I think is that Friday or Saturday? Friday. And I just kept thinking about dreaming. And I said, We Dream. And so I said in season 3, the name of the podcast is going to be We Dream. We Dream Fearless. And that way I didn't have to take away the Fearless name when I had it as Fearless Daughter's Dream for a little bit. But anyway, you all, we go live Thursday sometimes on the Fearless. I mean, see, I'm saying it again. It's still all fearless. We're fearless and we're dreaming. So it's We Dream Podcast on all podcast platforms. And so on YouTube, we're always releasing videos, like I always said, on YouTube. So you want to subscribe to YouTube because you'll never miss anything on YouTube. For the Wisdom app and all of the other platforms, it is mostly Mondays and Thursdays. Today is Tuesday tips, and I just want to let everybody in on the Tuesdays, Tuesday talk. Sometimes we give Tuesday tips, or we just have Tuesday talks. And so tonight I just got through eating. Today it was Taco Tuesday for me and my family, and so we did turkey garlic tacos. I'm not going to share all the ingredients because this topic today is talking about transition and what transition feels like. But anyway, we did Taco Tuesday, and I had avocados with turkey, garlic, avocados, cheese, and some other stuff. But anyway, y'all didn't want to hear about my dinner. I'm trying to do better. As most of you all know, that I am an integrative health and nutrition coach as well, and I'm a professional life purpose coach as well as a mentor, and I'm an entrepreneur. So, and if you would like to check out more stuff, check out my bio, and there's ways to get in touch with me. Um, Today, this topic is on the Tuesday Talks is transition feels like. So, what would you finish the phrase with? What would you put at the end of that? To me, transition feels uncomfortable because transition is change, and we know that change is different, and we know that change is well worth it, but it feels uncomfortable. And I want to share something with you all too today. I want to share that, I want to share that I was sitting here and, I was saying to myself that, I was watching, I actually was doing something online, and I was saying to myself that, you know, sometimes how you feel, you're not where you used to be, you've grown and matured, but certain situations and certain areas in our life feels like we have not moved a step further, because that's what the transition makes you feel like. The transition makes you feel like, I know I'm transitioning. And if somebody can attest, comment when you come on or comment when you hit the replay, but it feels like, okay, well, I'm going through all these different feelings and emotions in different areas, and uh, I feel like I'm in the same season. But the truth is, you're not in the same season. It's just that you're in transition, and so you're going from one area to another area. It's just like you being in the living room, and you've got to move to another area or room in your house, and because you're so used to sitting in the living room all the time and doing work, etc., whatever, when you say, hey, I really need to go over to this space because I made this work area over here my office space or my workspace and everything else, because you're so used to being in that one space for a long time, it's going to feel different for you to go to your new office work area, your new space. I hope that makes sense. It's like, I know that I'm here, I know that I'm on task. I know that I'm on the right target. I know that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, but I still feel like I'm in the same place, if that makes sense. Because when you transition and when you change, you still got to get used to, um, you got to get used to doing different things. You got to get used to being in a different area, being in a different environment. It's just like when you get promoted on a corporate job, or just like when your business starts taking off or you start spending in different areas. It's just like when you're getting ready to move from apartment to a bigger house, or you're just moving from apartment to a house, and preferably or probably that it's probably, more space and more bigger or whatnot. It's going to be different when you're transitioning. You got to figure out where things are going to go, how things are going to progress, what things are going to do. Um, so it feels different and it feels uncomfortable. And it's like sometimes you feel like you're in one place and it seems like you're still trying to get around. You're still trying to get around something. It's like, where do I start? Or what direction do I need to go in? Because even when we're transitioning, it feels like we are still asking the question, well, what direction do I go, Lord? Or where do I start? And I think because our minds are racing so much, we have to take a step back and we have to be like, okay, well, wait a minute. If I can just rest my mind, and if I can just, you know, receive the direction instead of me trying to always direct myself and make myself feel comfortable when I know that things are changing in my life or things are changing in the area, and I know this is something that I'm going to have to get used to. So when I was thinking about that tonight, because to be transparent, I'm in a place of where I am transitioning in some areas, and I'm just like, and then there's just some things that we want to, that we're saying, I want to make sure I make a wise decision on this. I want to make sure that this is a good fit for me for this or whatever. And when you're transitioning and changing, it's just like, okay, sometimes when you're transition, you don't feel like certain things are going to be right, but it's going to be right. It's just that you have to let your mind just flow with the change and flow with the new transition. Because I don't mean no harm. It does. I don't know if anybody can attest, but it feels like you are everywhere. And it feels like you're not saying the right things, or it feels like you're not it feels like you're not in the right space where you're supposed to be, but you're in the right space. And I'm like, I got all these thoughts, I've got all these decisions to make, and I don't know where to start. And sometimes, you know, that takes either losing some things or gaining some things, because it's like while you're gaining some things in life, you also lose some things. And so some of the things that you're losing, you feel like, well, did I make the right decision about that? Because I just lost that. But then you also gain something else, whether that be knowledge, more wisdom, or whether you gain something else personally or professionally. It all weighs out. And so I think sometimes we overthink. And I think that's what, I was doing per se. Like I was like, Karen, just stop kind of overthinking, rest your mind, and let the Lord direct your steps. Um, we've got to rest, and we just don't know how to rest. We just have to tell the truth. We don't know how to rest sometimes. We don't. And so what does your transition feels like? Is there anybody that is in a season of transition? I know that you have probably been in a season where you have transitioned before. We always transition from one season to another, or we're transitioning different areas of our life, mentally or physically. And so for me, it's uncomfortable. And I'm pretty sure for you it's uncomfortable too. But we have to know at the end of the day is well worth it. And so, but the first thing that I said that came to mind was that it may seem like, you're in the same space because of different events and different situations that come up in your life, but you are in the right season. You're not back where you used to be. You're right where you're supposed to be. It's just that you are transitioning. And we have to think about the last transition that we've been in. We have to think about that. We have to think about the last transition we've been in. We have to think about the last change that had to take place, the last season, and what season that we're in now, and how did we get through. Because it's a process and we will get through. It's just that we have different emotions running all over the place, but we've got to go through the process. And lately we've been talking about process on the broadcast. We've been talking about the process and how we cannot skip around the process, how we can't get over the process. We just have to understand that the end result is going to be better. Just like I shared on Monday Motivation on yesterday, and I used an analogy about, me getting my hair done. And I said, I don't like pressure. Nobody likes pressure. I don't know if there's anybody out there that do um, like pressure and like heat. I said, I don't like pressure and I don't like heat. But there's a lot of seasons where we have to go through pressure. We have to go through pressure to smooth out the rough ends. The only way to get to a good result, the only way to get great results in our life is we got to go through the pressure. And I was sharing how we don't like going through pressure, but it is necessary and that it must be done. And that's how transition feels. And so I hope this encourages you as much as it encourages me. Thank you, Miss Marion Broadnex, for joining on Instagram Live, and everyone who is coming through on LinkedIn and live on YouTube. Thank you all. To the replay viewers, please comment, leave your feedback. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. But thank you all for tuning in. And again, I hope this Tuesday talk really encouraged you the way that it encouraged me. So I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you on the next video.